I'm here with Louise from the beloved Hive, and today we're talking about styling. Not just styling, but wedding styling, what a wedding stylist is, how they work, what they do, the types of clients they work with, and lots of other things as well. We're here recording some new course material, so we thought, Louise and I, that we'd give you a sneak peek into what it is that we're going to be talking about within the course material. So Louise, thank you for joining me today. I'm excited to be here and talk to you about what styling is, your background, where you've come from, what you've done, because you've established so much in such a short period of time. But I thought maybe if you could just give everybody a little bit of background about where you came from, how you got into the industry, and pretty much how you've got where you are today.
So I founded Beloved back in 2011.
Yeah.
My background was in interior design. I did that for about a decade before discovering...
That's a long time.
Yeah, it was, it got a little bit kind of boring towards the end. I was, specifying more desks and chairs than I was getting into the detail.
Ah, okay.
So I kind of discovered this really beautiful world of blogs. It was just taking off at the time, and weddings and flowers and pretty things, and sort of became sucked into this vacuum of wedding pretty. And that's when I decided to found Beloved. And I've been doing that now for 6 years. So from that, it's become my full-time job. I also started to do editorial styling and wedding planning and styling for brides and grooms as well. So it's been a good journey.
So it's quite a big package, isn't it? When you think about it, you've got the actual blog itself, you've got the styling that you do for couples, you've got the styling that you do for brands, plus of course you've got this place, the Hive as well, for the wedding industry, which is fantastic. So I guess one of the questions we get asked a lot is, what actually is a wedding stylist? What do they do?
Well, to me, a wedding stylist is someone who is in control of all of the static elements of a wedding day. So that goes from taking a client's brief, understanding who they are. I always call it getting under the skin of the brand, whether that's a brand or a client, it's the same kind of thing. And then taking that through visually from the concept design all the way through to executing it on the day, creating something really beautiful.
So a client will come to you, and more often than not, they've probably got quite a muddled view of what it is that they want.
Generally.
So how do you break through all of the pretty pictures they show you on Pinterest and in their Instagram feeds and what have you, and actually come up with a cohesive look and feel for something? How does a stylist do that?
So what I tend to do is start with everything. I tell my clients, just pin everything that you like so I can get a sense of who you are and what you're about, and then we'll work through it together. And I often say to brides, if you can, print images off or put them in separate folders in terms of colour or style or aesthetic, then you can start to see actually you'll be leaning generally more towards one area than another, and from that you can then what path you need to take and then carry on the concept from there. You
can channel it in.
Exactly.
And do you create inspiration boards for your clients as well? Do you find that a really helpful tool? Yeah,
definitely. It just helps to kind of cement all of those ideas together, and in the very early stages, often if I'm working with brides and grooms, I'll do 2 or 3, and that can help to direct your couple in a direction as well. So sometimes they might have this idea. I always remember I had a couple who were getting married at Christmas, New Year time, and they wanted to introduce yellow into their theme, and I was like, I'm not quite sure how that's going to work with chunky knits and sparkle. So I created a board that showed them how that would work, and obviously they went, that doesn't work. So you can use it as a bit of reverse psychology as well.
Yeah, so that works both ways, doesn't it? Because it can be really difficult as well to tell a client, that doesn't look good.
Yeah.
Do
it in a nice way.
It's a more subtle way of doing it, isn't it? And they get to look at something pretty as well, which is good. So you talked about the fact that a stylist is all about working with the various different elements of an event or a wedding or a brand styling, whatever it might be. What would some of those elements be? What are the typical elements that you tend to work with?
So the main things would be all the visual elements, so flowers, table linens, tableware, glassware, furniture, props, through to beautiful little ribbon details, everything really that starts to pull the day together. If I'm working with couples, obviously then the fashion side becomes important as well. So we need to know what the bride is wearing, what her bridesmaids might be wearing, so we can pick up on details and fabrics and
within the various different looks. Fair enough. And I guess the other thing that I really wanted to talk to you about, apart from the actual elements themselves, was how you then, once you've sort of done your training, you've done that side of things, how do you actually launch your business? How do you get clients coming to you for that type of thing?
So I always say the best thing is to just jump straight in. Done is better than perfect. So get yourself out there and don't be scared. the first thing that you really need to do when establishing your brand is work out who your clients are, who they are, what they want. And I always advise my mentoring students and members here at the Hive to start with your dream client visual. They work out exactly who they are, what they like, and that can be really in depth down to what car they drive and where they live and how many children they have, or if they have children, all of that kind of stuff. So once you've really cemented that and you understand who that person is, you can tailor everything that you do to
that particular person. Yeah, because you'll have a good idea of where they hang out, the type of blogs they read, the magazines they read, etc., etc. We call it your wedding avatar, same sort of thing, isn't it? Yeah, working out who your ideal client is. Well, it's been really good to talk to you, Louise. I'm excited to delve into this a lot further, but when we're delving into that, that's for the course material and the students. This is just a taster, and to really let people know what you're doing here. Now, obviously, we are here at the Hive. Before we finish off this interview, do you want to just tell everybody what the Hive is and how it works and what you're doing?
Yeah, so the Beloved Hive launched in November last year, 2016, after I've been working in the industry for 5 years, and I realised that we all kind of small business owners, we often work from home, it can be quite lonely, and there's a great support network, but there's no one place where we can all come together and learn from each other and work together and collaborate. So the Hive was really born from that, and its aim, I guess, is to become a resource for the wedding industry.
Well, I think it's a fantastic idea, and apart from being in London, I can't wait till you launch one in, I think it was Manchester that you mentioned, which is about as far north as I'm going to get probably, and hopefully the Cotswolds, and I think you mentioned another one you were hoping to do at some point in time, which would be fantastic because it really is needed in the industry. So Louise is just one of many different experts that we work with here at the Academy, and I'm looking forward to putting these videos into the course material for you all to enjoy. So make sure you enrol if you're not a student so you can find out what great pieces of information Louise has got to share with you.